Yo, yo.
Yo.
Yo. Yo.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you, bro. Crypto Princess, what up? All Artists Mental, what's good? What's good? Hug a Week, what's happening? What's going on? What's going on? Hold on, man. All right, man. Let me go to the Zoom, man. With the Prime Minister, man. What's good? You there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Yeah. Let me do this. Bam. Switch that to Noble and Pool. All right. Let me check YouTube. Lottie Doty. What's happening? All Artists Mental said, what up, Jew? I already had some water down here.
What's good?
Yeah. Let's do a thumbs up, man. Let's get the algorithm popping. Hacksaw Jim Duggan style. Good, man. Good, man. Good, man. Peace, LS Cherry. What's happening? All is good. All is good, man. Magneto Onyx. All right, the room is filling up, man. Let's go ahead. Let's get these like buttons up. Click the thumbs up so we can alert the algorithm.
What you sipping on, champ?
Oh, man, this is some Barefoot got a wine called Blueberry Fruscato. It's very, very, I'm a sweet dude, man. I don't really like all that bitter shit. So it's a blueberry wine, man. It really tastes like blueberry. It's dope. It's actually my favorite.
I see you. Hey, it looked like you got your wave spinning, man. What you doing?
Oh, man, I'm in the quantum field for real.
What you doing over there, Joe?
Hey, man. I'm in the quantum field for real, man.
He got his spinners going there, man.
Yeah, I got a little something for him, man. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man. What up, Zafir? What's good, bro? What's happening? All right, man. All right. Hold on. Let me check my phone real fast, man. We get this party started, man. All right, man. All right, man. Damn. Let me share my screen real fast, y'all. So the screen is being shared. So let me move this menu out the way, man. Thank y'all in my way. All right. So breaking news. Boosie badass shot in the leg in Dallas days after Mo 3 killing. The thing is, and happy birthday. God damn, nigga. Nigga turned 38 today. And he get popped. I wonder if the irony of this shit is that he get hit with a 38 special, but niggas don't carry those. But one, man, good thing Boosie is good, you know what I'm saying? So for sure, prayers to Boosie on that, you know what I mean? This thing is dangerous, man. It's dangerous. And the reason why it's dangerous is because I go to the slide right here. It ain't on the slide. It's actually on his Twitter. All right. Right here on November 11th when he got news that Mo 3 was dead. And y'all can see it on the screen. I'm lost for words. Hashtag TIP. My boy, right? Mo 3, see you when I get there. So in other words, man, I see you in heaven, right? Or hell, wherever. I see you when I die. I'll see you there, okay? Now, that could very well be the truth, right? Because we all gonna get up out of here. But man, we have to be I would think, you have to be very, very careful of the words that you speak, because you get to cast spells against yourself. So you can't, again, we always say it, you can't believe in, speak it into existence. You know, the universe is real, and then you say something like this, and then next thing you know, when you go to the memorial or you visit the city where your partner just got killed, you just happen to get shot. Now, you may think that it's a coincidence, or niggas is, you know, they just hating on me, and he was riding with me, so they hating on me too. That very well can be true. But again, you have to be careful of the words that you speak, because again, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word, became flesh. So words create reality, right? This is why you can say something to somebody, and how you say it can really, really devastate them and hurt them, because words have vibration. And I don't want to hear that, you know, what is it, Jew? Sticks and stones, man, break my bones, but words can never hurt me.
Big lie.
That is not entirely true.
Big lie.
The best thing I can show you about sound and waves, dealing with sound waves, is the car that got the beats, got the boom, bam, bumble, riding down the street bumping, right? And then it sets off the car alarm that's parked. And it never physically touched the car. The car didn't touch the car to make the alarm go out. But the vibration of the sound itself affects matter. Now, this is very important because sound affects matter. So, of course, there was a famous study that was done by a Japanese scientist, I think he is, who did the study on water, right, Jude? The molecules of water. And when he would say nice things to the water based off his intention, I want to be clear about that, because you can say one word in English that's derogatory, and we can say that exact same word in another language that's good, and I guarantee you it's going to have a different effect based off our perception and understanding of the word, okay? So the doctor is saying, I love you. And the molecules are taking on snowflake forms. And then it's saying, I hate you. And then it's look like demonic molecules in the water. So this is the actual case study that was done with water molecules and words that were specifically being spoken to the water. Very interesting, because the human being is water, as we've taught, right? Especially inside of the brain, because it's floating in what we call cerebral fluids, okay? You let enough blood come out you, which is liquid, you out of here, okay? So water is very important, okay? So we have to be careful of the words. Now, go ahead, Drew. Chime in, man. What you got right there at that point?
Oh, well, just to add emphasis to what you're saying, it was an actual study done on this, man, where they looked at, they took I think it might have been like 20 participants, maybe a few more. It's been a while since I touched on this, but from what I can recall, what they did was they used emotionally triggered words, like, you know, what we would consider to be negative words and positive words. And it was one of these, it wasn't here in the United States. It was over in one of the Asian countries that facilitated this particular experiment. But what they did was they uttered these words that we would consider to be negative or positive according to, how we process and perceive language. And what they found out was that when people heard negative words, that their heart rate actually decreased. So, as you just mentioned, vibration, it slowed down their vibratory rate to the point where, you know, even the organs in their body, specifically the heart, began to slow down. So it's very true that the language, you know, you can brighten somebody's day. You know, if you tell a woman, man, your dress is beautiful, or, you know, you have a beautiful smile, that, you know, that she lights up, right? You know, you tell a gentleman, you know, hey man, you know, you're a nice looking guy, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know, or you may compliment his car or something. That's a nice whip you got, man. You know, that does something to a person's self-esteem. It's just the truth.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So we have to be very mindful about the words that we speak out of our mouths, especially in the direction that Ampu's about to take it in relationship to what, if you saw the tweet, what Boosie said about his homie MO3, who just lost his life a few days back in Dallas, man. So, you know, we've said this over the years, many, many different ways, but the bottom line is, you know, your words are very, very powerful, people.
All day, man. I'm gonna go back to the screen share. So the other day, y'all, we did a video with T.I., right? And remember, and I'm showing you the actual screen in this video, and the premise with Tip, because he was all in the news, we was like, yo, Tip, you got an issue with the cardinal signs, because he's a Libra. He was born with the moon in Aries. And then, as you remember, I showed y'all the two arrows. One is at Capricorn, and the other one's pointing at Cancer. And I pretty much showed how every time Mars got in Cancer or Aries or Libra, Tip was having these bad experiences. All but Capricorn. I specifically said that. Nothing appeared in Capricorn doing this, okay? Well, very interesting, because when we look at Boosie's chart, okay? When you look at Boosie's chart, you will see at the bottom left, when he was born, the planet Mars is in the sign of Capricorn when he's born. And I was like, well, damn. We know that Mars in the sky is in Aries. Remember this square chart right here, right? Same chart, but it's showing you, hey, Libra, Cancer, Aries, and Capricorn, that's a problem right now if you're that zodiac sign. But guess what? Boosie is Scorpio. He's not that zodiac sign. Or if you have Mars or Mercury in these signs, you are more than likely, the chances of accidents and acts of violence increases during this time, okay? So Boosie, again, born with Mars in Capricorn, but Mars in the sky is in Aries. That's called a square, ladies and gentlemen. Again, let's look at the chart. Capricorn at the top, squares Aries. They're all connected by the red line for this particular example. And this means somebody can come at you sideways. But what's really interesting to us, though, because what's really happening is, on the bottom left, where Mars is in Capricorn, where it was when Boosie was born, currently in the sky, Mars is over there to the right in green that you see. So Mars is technically at a 90-degree angle to the space where it was when Boosie was born. And this sideways angle, known as a square, is the perfect time that something's going to pop off and come at you sideways. This is the time that you really beef up security, or possibly don't even go, right? At least have a bulletproof goddamn car, for sure, right? Shout out to young Dolph, man. Dolph caught over 100 bullets, and he was in the bulletproof shit and was and alive and not hit. You know what I mean? But they tried to kill Dolph. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know when to have that layer of protection. You have to know, okay? Because it ain't gonna pop off every time, but there is a window of time when this shit is more than likely. Now, I want to show you something. If we look at, because Mars represents anger, represents, you know, the frustration and shit, right? If you look at Boosie's tweets, man, right? Let me back it up one. If you just look at Boosie's timeline, the shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, stop calling me and texting me. Fuck you hoes. Right? Niggas, fake ass family, all y'all can suck my dick. All y'all got motive fucking with me anyway. Suck a dick. Fuck Capital One, y'all bitches gonna pay one way or the other. Trill Entertainment, fuck y'all niggas. Capital One, pay me my damn money. Your bank is a criminal, right? You know, it's very interesting, and y'all gotta watch the Mike Tyson podcast, man. Because it went really viral, and it's one of the best podcasts that's out there because Tyson be on his shit, man. I fuck with this. It was real touching, and everybody was surprised, like, oh, wow, Mike pulled Boosie to the side, man, and, you know, was having this conversation with him about ego and who you think you are, saying something about Dwayne Wade's son and things of that nature. What gives you the power to have to say something? You know, Boosie, like, you're right, my mama tell me the same shit. But the point is, it was real enlightening. If you look at, Boosie got a lot of pain, and rightfully so. You know, you got people who ratted on you, you done got set up, you done got, you know, you just been through a lot of shit. A lot of us have, got a lot of pain. And what happens is we carry that pain and it comes through conversation, it comes through the art and medium of you know, the rap. But you got to be real careful with that pain because you're going to magnetize a drastic event that is going to force you to learn how to transform the pain. And I keep saying it. This becomes very dangerous because you don't know what that freak unexpected accident is going to be that is going to sit you down and make you reflect to have to go deeper within your own soul to grasp some understanding about your experiences so you can evolve. Okay? This is my last point, and I give it to Jew. When you look at Mars and Capricorn, I don't know if y'all can see the screen. I hope you can. But this is known as the diagram of man in medical astrology, okay? Pisces is at the feet, okay? Aries, the ram, will be at the head, Taurus at the throat, Cancer over here at the breast, the lion, Leo's around the heart, Virgo is right there in the intestines, Libra is in the kidneys, okay? Scorpion, which they depict as a little like hippopotamus monster, is at the sexual reproductive organs, and Boosie a hella Scorpio. Don't get it twisted. This is why Boosie got kicked off Instagram. Pay you $100 right now, show your pussy lips. Right? That's Boosie. That's how he get down. You know what I'm saying? That's his thing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Boosie on that. Wild blue, right? But the report says Boosie was shot below the knee. And ladies and gentlemen, notice that this goat right here is Capricorn. Capricorn rules the knees. It all points south until it gets to the ankles. Aquarius rules the ankles. So if you from the knee down to the ankle, this is Capricorn zone. This is what the reports say. I ain't lying. If we go look it up, what do they say? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Gunshot wound below the knee. Okay? Now, Capricorn represents the damn knees and bones. And right below, like I said, up to the ankles. That's what Capricorn represents. Mars in the sky right now is in the position, or when he was born rather, is in the sign that represents the planet Mars represents gunshots, number one. Number two, is in the sign that deals with the knee and below the knee. This is a fact. It's what it represents. So then when Mars gets in the strenuous angle called a square, he gets shot in the exact same spot that denotes the location of where the planet was when he was born. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, people ask me about, hey man, do you rock with tropical or Western? Or tropical is Western tropical or sidereal, which is East versus West. I'm West Coast all day. The Western system all day. Because see, that wouldn't be in their system. That'd be in Sagittarius. And that's not fitting the bill. Okay? So with that, man, I just really wanted to show y'all, again, this planet, by understanding its location, it can save your life. You know what I mean? And the best thing I could do to give back to humanity in that sense is, you can go to the site, myastrologycoach.com. You can click on memberships, only $19.99 a month, $20, get your cosmic insurance. Because my job is to do a few things, but the main thing is I don't want nobody who know me can get access to this information. Only $20. You get a monthly report every month. They'd be like, yo, you good. You in the code red. Now, here's the thing. If you ain't vibrating like that, like, man, shit. Because I'm telling you the antidote to this shit. The antidote to this shit is DJ Khaled. I keep saying it. Look at the vibe of Khaled and look at the vibe of Boosie. Okay? Do Boosie be talking about gratitude and grateful and happy and smiling? Nah, it's still a lot of pain. He's still in his Bupak mode. You know what I'm saying? He angry. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. We get it, right? But the antidote to this shit is the Khaled gratitude portion. All right? But listen, shit happens. It does. You know what I'm saying? This shit'll creep up on you. Don't get it twisted, because DJ Khaled was in the little, one year when he was on that goddamn, what was it, Drew? The jet ski, and his ass got scraped up real good on his leg when he went up against a tree. A tree branch was in the water and cut him up real good, right? So this thing can get up on you. You know what I'm saying? And if you know when, then you can mitigate the experience. Because this is one thing, right? I always say it. You can tell me, I can look at my chart and be like, yo, you know what? The likelihood of me jumping out of an airplane is not very good right now. I shouldn't probably do that, right? But I'm going to go get on the airplane. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen. I know the likelihood of some shit can happen, but I'm not going to find out because I just don't feel like the worst case scenario manifesting itself. So I'm going to pass on this one. I'll chill and we go bungee jumping or jump out the airplane on another one, right? You can start to better time some things and whatnot, because if this thing is about a choice, then let me choose how it's going to go. Understand what I'm saying? Let me choose, man, because this thing can creep up on you, man. But go ahead, Drew.
Man, what can I add on to this combo? Man, somebody asked a good question, man, in the chat. They said, why do these type of people get, an overwhelming amount of coverage versus the innovators in the community? And that's a good question, right? Because we would think that that's how it should be. But man, I've said this many times before. When we look at entertainers, right, we talking about fame. These are famous people, right, Dabir? And we know that fame is a Neptunian type of thing, right? And so when we look over there, we also see, right, spirituality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Transcendence and higher levels of perception. So a good way that I explain this, these people are in a spotlight so that we can learn some of these more in-depth lessons, specifically from people like myself and Ampu, that are able to make the parallels, right? To give the life lessons back to the quote unquote regular folks so that they learn how to move and groove in their personal space. But I never forget, I was reading up on the amygdala, right? It's a little structure.
Amygdala.
It's the most sensitive structure in the brain. Easily fired upon, right? Easily excited. Very social structure. And what they found was that people with larger amygdalas tend to be leaders or tend to be the ones that are in front of the pack. And when they took a survey of, when, let's just say, a silverback gorilla, when the leader of the pack died, somebody's going to emerge as the new leader. And what they found out was the person who emerged as the next new leader had the next largest amygdala out of that particular group of silverbacks. And so, as much as we would like to think that that it's running contrary to what should be the norm, or what should be exalted, or what should be put in a place of higher priority, is just something about the way that human beings are wired, that we're always looking to what appears to be at a higher level or at a higher plateau to get directive from, right? And if we can use that to our benefit, we can use it to our benefit to be able to teach these methodologies and these principles to people so that, again, they know how to move in their own personal space. But that was a really good question in the chat. Now, Boosie, why is he in Dallas? He's in Dallas to pay respect to his partner, MO3, a rapper in that region of the country who have, a lot of clout, a lot of fame, a respectable name in Texas, Texas area, right? I want to introduce you guys tonight to a concept that you probably heard me mention before. If not, then it's something new for you to ponder. It's a term in quantum physics called entanglement.
Yeah.
See, you got to be very, very careful about who are you vibing with?
Yeah.
What message are you vibing with? Right? Prime example. Let me show you how powerful entanglement is as far as having an emotional connection. What are you emotionally invested in? What are you emotionally connected to? Right? So they had siblings, mother, daughter, father, son pairs where they were in two separate houses hooked up to these EEG machines, right? And what they did was they told one of the pairs, or one of the persons that was in the pair, let's just say mother-daughter, for example. They told the mother, I just want you to imagine rubbing your daughter's hand. Now the daughter's hooked up 10 miles away in another house. The mother's 10 miles away in another house. And the mother's just doing a simple technique of imagining that she's touching her daughter's hand. Do you know that the EEG machine 10 miles away that was hooked up to the daughter, the brain waves went off in the daughter's brain as if she was physically being touched? As the young boys say, this is no cap. No cap. So what does that tell us? See, there's something that is connecting us that's invisible. Right? How does scripture put it? The all-wise, all-knowing, invisible God. So there's some type of force, what I like to call magnetism, that is tying this whole thing together. And when you create an emotional bond or a strong connection with a person, place, or thing, you become instantly entangled with that person or that phenomenon, and you will experience similar dynamics and share similar experiences with each other, although you're all the way in Chicago and he's all the way in Columbus. Me and Ampu have experienced this multiple times.
Facts.
Okay? So we're living examples of this phenomenon. So Boosie, listen, first of all, listen, spatial memory is a mother. He goes and touches down in the same spatial location, i.e. the book of Joshua, wherever the sole of your foot shall tread, there too I have given you. So he didn't put himself in a spatial geographical location. Hippocampus is probably going bananas, right? Because he's probably been there before to visit his homie. They got a close bond, right? And then what is he there for? He's there because his homie then passed away from a violent murder 2-3 days beforehand. You saw all the tweets that was up and down, you know, from that point up until today. It's fuck the world, basically. That's a Martian energy. So he's carrying around a Martian feeling. He goes to a place where a Martian experience just happened, right? It's sadness. It's no joy in the place anywhere. It's anger. That's another Martian ray, right? And then his homie, rest in peace, MO3. Anytime I'm talking about these gentlemen, it's never in a way to make it derogatory. It's just the fact that we are ignorant to these principles. And so we're suffering the consequences because ignorance of the law is no excuse. And you will be a casualty every single time. Let me tell you, man, it's a movie, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, right? Favorite scene in the movie. Daisy gets hit by a taxi cab. And Benjamin is replaying the entire day of everything that had to happen precisely by the moment in order for that cab to strike Daisy at that time, that place. There are no coincidences down here, people. And you will be a casualty, one, by the things that you say out of your mouth, or two, because you are easily suggested upon and are swayed from right to left based upon whatever the narrative is for the day. And then you find yourself experiencing something of the like according to what you've been tapped into for the last 30 days. You're trying to figure out, damn, why that happened to me, right? So now he's down in Dallas, and guess what? This rapper MO3, he makes a video 2 or 3 years ago where he's walking in a church and he's viewing his own dead body in a casket. Why?
And y'all saw this with Tupac, right? He's in heaven. Will be his next video.
Right.
After he died. You saw this shit play out before.
Let me tell y'all something. Ain't no such thing as fiction. It's not. if somebody can conceive the idea in their mind, at some level, that shit real. I'm telling y'all, I got so many examples of this, it's crazy. But some things that you would be like, that's impossible. And it happened. So, and then the video opens up, he's laying on a hospital, cold hospital steel bed down in the morgue, and you're looking at his chains hanging off the hospital bed. It's a mortician standing over his dead body. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
I seen it, man. I seen it with all the, listen, it ain't a rapper that done passed in the last 2 years where this phenomenon don't apply. It apply to Nipsey. It apply to Triple X. It apply to Pop Smoke. It apply to Juice WRLD. It apply to King Von. Every single one of them have done the same exact thing. Every last single one of them. So we glorify speaking it into existence when we get a check, or when we manifest the car, or when we manifest the house, or when we manifest the purse, or the new clientele. But see, it worked both ways. It worked both ways. And we are given a pass down here to do as thou wilt with the law. Do it however you choose to paint your picture, paint it. And so you got to be mindful, Boosie, man. Because you done went down there now, you done got shot. You could have been dead, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And then what? You know what I'm saying? Then what?
Yeah.
He better be lucky. He was solar returning. That divine light was on him, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, man, you know, so like, listen, man. I want to read some of y'all too, real quick. I want to read some. Let me see. This is out of the Corpus Hermeticum. Listen to this. These are the words out of Hermes' mouth. He says, "Consider this as well, my son, that these two things God hath bestowed on man beyond all mortal lives, both mind and speech, equal to immortality. He hath mind for knowing God, and uttered speech for eulogy of him. And if one useth these for what he ought, he'll differ not a whit from the immortals." So what are they saying in these ancient texts? What are they telling you? Your mind and your speech is equivalent to immortality, meaning forever. And then it goes on to say, and when you quit these bodies, he who has mastered mind and speech, those will be his tools in the hereafter. So you got to become extremely conscientious of honing mind and speech. And when you say stuff like, "I'll see you when I get there," that's no. Not if you ain't ready to leave. Now, if you're ready to break out, let me tell you something. Ampu will tell you, we laugh about it. He gave me a line from a yogi master. No, listen, man. No, that ain't funny, no. Listen, let me tell y'all something, man. Listen, he gave me a line from a yogi master who repeated a phrase continually because he was ready to die.
Facts.
He was ready to die. He repeated these words over and over and over again and collapsed and died. This is a fact. Ampu had the nerve to utter these words to me, and I couldn't get them out of my head. And all that day, I felt dizzy. I said, don't ever say that shit to me no more, man. I don't want to don't ever, because I'm not ready to break out.
Right.
And I know how powerful my mind is. It extends across the globe. Mm-hmm. So why would I even play with myself like that? Can't do it, man. Can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. In facts, man. That's deep. It's deep, man, because if you say that, if you say, see you when I get there, you just envision I know how the mind works. You just envision yourself there. It's what you did. You know what I'm saying? You got kids, man. You know what I'm saying? And all Boosie kids be with him. You know, and if that succession system ain't set up, you got to stay, boy. Don't say no shit like that. But, you know, here's the thing that we just know, because you said something, man, that, ladies and gentlemen, what if space itself is intelligent? Like literally, not just the ethers of space, dark space. What about the space on Earth? So in other words, like a location, right? Like, you know how you can go into a room and you feel the vibe and you be like, ooh, you can tell it was just fighting, right? Or you was nasty in here, it got a vibe. What if Dallas, Texas, because we're just, a week away from the assassination of JFK, right? What if Dallas itself has a memory, a working spiritual memory of John F. K's assassination? A few things. One, there's a movie about this whole 11/22 thing and slipping in and out of time. That's one, okay? Boy, shout out to the priestess, Abby. That's Erica. I always call her Abby, Badu, because she did some magical shit. But truth be told, I'm just going to tell the motherfucking truth. She popped up on my radar years ago, and I had some people who I know her and make a connect, and had to give her the wisdom. You lay your ass low for a minute. Lay total the fuck low, because you projected something as if you was a naked version of JFK. Okay. All right. Now let's move forward to some shit, because now I'm gonna share my screen and just show you how the cosmic aspect of space is intelligent and give you the correlation of the actual event, the event today and of the past dealing with JFK, okay? So let me pull it up on this PowerPoint. So I had to go look while Drew was speaking, because I know how spirit works. In the inside of the wheel that the arrows are pointing to is the progress chart of 11/22/1963. This is not casting a birth chart. The day that JFK got killed, we could have entered in the date and time right there, and that would have been a different chart. Because technically on 11/22, the sun is about 29 degrees of Scorpio, as you see in green way up here at the top, circle with the circle, right? It starts to get about 29 degrees Scorpio. Is about to go to the first day of Sagittarius on 11/22. But what you do is, we're taking 11/22/63, the time that JFK lost his life, and that chart itself keeps on growing and moving like it's a little baby that eventually becomes grown. It has its own energy and motion now, okay? This is known as secondary progressions, okay? Now look at all of the planets in green that I have a red arrow pointing to, which means this. Today in Dallas, these planets in green are in the same location in space of where the progression of the murder and assassination of JFK is at. That's very freaking interesting. It's actually kind of eerie when you look at where all the planets in green are at, dead on something. And if they're a little bit behind, like Venus at the top, it's on its way too. And nothing in the sky in green is on the right-hand side of the chart like that.
Noble.
Uh-huh.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There's some people in the chat, they tripping. Look, Boosie, it's reported that Boosie got shot, ladies and gentlemen. Some people in the chat saying he never got shot. No, earlier today, they said he didn't get shot. That might have been 4 or 5 hours ago. If you refresh your channels and you do a fresh Google search, you will see that TMZ and other news outlets are saying that Boosie is in the hospital getting treated for a gunshot wound to the leg right under the knee. That's a fact. So we're not doing nothing for views. We here specifically to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
And if it's false, then we just stand corrected.
That's right.
But if it's true, then you're going to have to take this journey. And my point is, everything in green pointing to the things in black is the current heavens in the sky in green, in perfect alignment with the progression of the location. The physical location we know is Dallas. The timeline, because we're coming back up on that, we're a week away from the whole JFK shit, right? And the cosmos now is just in perfect alignment. So here's a question. And this is just a question. Could it be when the planets align to a previous point where planets were at? Could there be some type of refraction or resemblance or a mirror, another event to take place that will mirror the previous event? It's just a question. It's just a question. We know the answer. It's just a question. See, at what point do we grow and we keep on saying the famous cliche terms of when the planets align, I guess the stars was aligned, it all lined up for me. You know it's true at the core. But this is how you start to trace it. We had a question in the chat. It was a damn good question. Let me go back to it. Somebody asked something about redoing it. Who was that, man? Here we go. LS Cherry. What are the steps and strategies to undoing some of the traps our minds and words may have cast? What you got on that, Jew?
Oh, man.
What are the steps and strategies to undoing some of the traps our minds and words may have cast?
All right. Great question. First of all, you have to recognize your patterns of self-destructive language or inner speech, right? Or, you know, the thoughts that you're having that are, as they call it, low vibratory, right? The things that are rendering you stress. You know what those things are. If you just stop, take a minute to reflect, sit back, write it down, you'll know what some of these things are, right? That's the first step, becoming conscientious of the errors that you're making in your self-conversation, in your inner dialogue, in your inner speech, right? Because what happens is, whatever you've said externally, you've already thought about it before you even said it, right? Or you've been thinking and feeling it the whole time, and then you finally uttered those words to whoever or wherever the opposition in your mind is coming from, right? What I tell people to do all the time is this. You have to atrophy that neural connection, right? You have to, it's like, if you keep going down the same pathway, you're going to keep it active and keep it alive, right? So a good example, you know how you may be driving home from work or from the gym or picking your children up or whatever, and then all of a sudden you see a detour sign because somebody's doing some construction somewhere, right? And they tell you got to make a detour. Well, if that construction may be going on for 3 or 4 months, you're going to have to take a detour for quite a long time. And you're going to get familiar with the new pathway, with a new trail that you may not even known existed to get to your home. It's like a GPS. So sometimes it'll take you this way or this way, and you may be used to going the same way, so that's the way that you go regularly, but it may be 4 or 5 different other ways to get to a said destination, right? So you got to learn how to make detours and be conscientious of what it is that keeps causing you to go down that same pathway, right? Another thing, it's something that I created called the Positron Pass, right? A positron, just briefly to kind of explain it, is the opposite of an electron. So it's the antimatter of an electron. It's spinning in a different direction, but they're pairs. Whenever something in matter is created, there's an identical partner on the antimatter side. And this is not science fiction. This is science for real, physics, right? So what we do is we teach people how to reclassify and reorganize previous situations or experiences that have been rendered from, the negative patterns that have crept into the mind, or a situation that occurred because of something that you said or did, or somebody else said or did, or an experience that you had that wasn't necessarily pleasant, right? So we teach people within these memberships how to reclassify data. They teach you that if you can take bits and pieces of a scene and add slightly different components to it, you change your perception around that scene or that situation, which now sends you in a different trajectory than previously you were on, so that now you're having a different outlook on the experience. You're having a different take on how you're perceiving an individual, or better yet, yourself, in certain situations. So it's different ways that you can skin the cat, man. But it takes a lot of subjective appropriation to do it, right? And then the other thing too is you got to learn how to hit the Control-Alt-Delete buttons, right? Which means what, Jew? You got to learn how to clean out a lot of the stuff that's in your mind to give you a fresh, clean sheet of paper to start over with. And so I just created something a couple months back called the 4 Quantum Rituals, where one of the actual rites is I have people just clean out their closet, clean out their drawers. We do objective ritual in order to remind us of what we need to be doing subjectively. So you gotta learn how to get rid of stuff and clear out the space, right? And clear out the things that you're harboring in your mind from previous things that you've spoken that were negative, that rendered you an experience that you didn't want to have. So you got to learn how to, unload and offload, what it is that you are constantly ruminating in your consciousness that doesn't work for you. And so you can train yourself to do that by doing certain little objective rituals to remind you, look, I don't need to hold on to these things. I need to delete these things. And forgiveness, if we just want to get down to the basic core, forgiveness, man, right?
Yeah.
Am I lying, to Beer?
No, you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Forgiveness, man. Listen, and for the people who think forgiveness is a weak thing, let me tell y'all something. It's really more for you than the other person, right? I never forget, what was I doing, Beer? I think that was the anger and the resentment class. Well, I was looking at the translation for the word forgiveness in the Strong's Concordance. And what did it say, Jew? It was basically a release for self. It didn't have anything to do with the other person. You have to let go of what you're holding on to that's binding you emotionally, or to sever the cord. And here's the other thing too. The reason that the other person, you know how people be like, man, I can't wait till that person karma catch up with them. And you've been saying that for 5 or 10 years, right? And they just flourishing, and they done done you wrong or done something wrong, right? The reason that that person hasn't met a certain level of quote unquote karma is because you never let the rope go.
Yeah.
You never let the rope go. So like in tug of war, when you got one person, you got a group of people on one side and a group of people on another. If both sides tugging, right? But the minute one side let go of the rope, the other side falls down because of the weight and the pressure. If you just let go, they're gonna fall. So forgiveness is more about you letting go and letting that boomerang just release it, man, you know? But those are just some of the things that we teach inside of the memberships to help people get past those type of situations or become aware of the negative thoughts that they're having, called the self-analysis spreadsheet, where you got to make checks off every day about some of the things that you're doing. What are you watching? What are you participating in? Are you doing these practices regularly? Are you entertaining gossip? Are you unnecessary information? Just information to have information. It's not necessarily useful. You can't use it in any type of way. So we got checklists where it will stop you, and it will stop you from unconsciously self-sabotaging yourself, because you're now more focused and paying attention to what you are thinking and saying, you know?
Yeah. Hey, we got somebody in the chat, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, Ryan Elliott, right? Now, I want to challenge that, Ryan, right? Because Ryan Elliott is saying, hey, family, listen. As my brother, the people responsible for the shootings are the Jesuit order, the Society of Jesus. They ritualistically blood sacrifice these rappers. Learn the Kabbalah. Learn the Kabbalah text of the Book of Formation. King Von died by the numbers. Boosie, King Faith, RBG Duck were murder rituals, right? So I wanna take you up on that, Ryan Elliott, and I want to tell you that that's kindergarten, and it's no disrespect. What I'm saying is, I'm gonna tell you a science, and the fuck tell you a science, I'm gonna show you a science that's deeper than that, right? So what I'm gonna do is show you this particular tweet on my screen. I want you to pay close attention to this, because it was done on June the 8th, as you can see on Twitter, and it's me. And I'm telling Russell Simmons, and I'm telling Snoop Dogg that the next natural disaster or major acts of violence or a famous person that will die, since you're talking about blood sacrifices, is going to happen within 3 days. And those 3 days is going to be June 15th, the 16th, or the 17th. If it happens in June, #watch. I want you to go see what day the Charleston church shooting happened. You will see that it happened exactly on June the 17th, which is precisely the day I said there's going to be a major act of violence. Okay, Mr. Elliott? So hold, because I'm going to also show you when the airplane crashes. I went to Twitter on October 29th, and I told Snoop Dogg, I told Russell Simmons, I said from October the 30th, 31st, November the 1st, we can see a major act of domestic violence, an earthquake, or a political famous death, or an airplane crash. On October the 31st, sir, in Russia, 224 people were on the airplane, and it crashed on the exact day I said it will happen on. Okay? So I can go on and show you some other things, such as police officers getting shot. Oh, let's deal with hip hop, since you into hip hop conspiracies. So January 22nd, I go to Twitter. You see the red arrow, and I'm saying there's going to be a famous death from January 24th, 25th, and 6th. And the founder of World Star Hip Hop dies on January 24th. I came on the record on the 22nd beforehand. Okay? Oh, you want to talk about the Rockefellers, the Illuminati? Because I know you believe that the Illuminati, Rockefeller down with them. Well, how about on March 18th, I go to Twitter and I tell Google, I tell Microsoft, I tell Apple that it's going to be a famous person going to die on March the 20th through the 23rd. And then on March the 20th, what happened? Died David Rockefeller, the OG of the goddamn Illuminati dies. I know this shit beforehand. So this is what I'm saying, why that baby talk, and I got to take Beyonce's side on this. And this ain't to shame you, but I got to get you out of that shit. Y'all niggas corny with that Illuminati mess. I'm telling you, that's whack. You know why it's whack? Because I just sat up here and showed you, even if it was Illuminati, my dude, them motherfuckers ain't got this. We know when they gonna make a move before, and they ain't telling us shit. So I guess we down with the Illuminati then, right? I can show you some shit that'll blow your mind and show you how we can just, and I'm gonna be honest with you, we can fuck this whole goddamn place up with thoughts. But you gotta get out of that fear shit that you in. See, what you only got, listen, man, if you believe in a supreme being, then my challenge is, which master you serving? The Illuminati and the devil thing, or you rolling with the God? Which one is it? If you believe, if you don't believe, cool.
Choose this day who you will serve.
Right now over here, this is the priesthood. This is who we be. And I know it's a lot of people watching, chiming in because of the shit, but I'm just going to tell you, respectfully, Noble Ampu and Minister Jew, we go by the priesthood. We do this spiritual thing for real, and can show you receipts, goddammit, because I just showed you some. So if you believe in God, then make your allegiance to God. If you believe in the Illuminati, serve over there and get off the goddamn channel, bro. Okay? Because it ain't about that. I just showed you. We know David Rockefeller himself. We said a famous person gonna die, and it was goddamn David Rockefeller. And I know y'all niggas be believing that Rockefeller part of Illuminati. I'm gonna tell you that's some bullshit. Do you know that the goddamn government under Teddy Roosevelt was going against Rockefeller? And I thought these were the people that ran the world, and Rockefeller's ass was on the run, and he was dipping from location to location because he was trying not to be at the location to get served a subpoena to have to go to court because they was breaking up the whole Sherman, the antitrust laws and shit. They was breaking up his monopoly, but they thought he had a monopoly and broke him up. So what the hell he got to be dipping in on the move for if they running the world? That's that baby talk shit, man. And again, I ain't picking on you per se, you know what I'm saying? But that shit's whack.
It comes from, see, this is what happens, DeBeer. We're in a place where when things happen that people can't explain, they move to conspiracy first because it settles the mind and it gives them what they think are answers, right? Mm-hmm. So the mind is always rushing to try to calculate and figure out. Now, I used to be in that same place that a lot of you are today. I used to be. But then as I became more acclimated, so I sympathize with y'all to a degree, right? And some people have told me or made indirect commentary that they've said, everybody is learning at a different pace. And this comes from teachers who are supposed to be conscientious or conscious teachers and are telling people and still spreading that type of information. And I say, no, that's not true. If you know a higher level of interpretation and understanding, we can teach it from right there. And people don't have to come in and have to go through all of that unnecessary rigmarole for 5 and 10 years and still be listening to these people who are still talking about what the Illuminati is going to do to you. Listen, especially if those same people are telling you that you're melanin, you're a melanated being, and you peace God, right? These are conversations and rhetoric that's being spewed in the same breath out of one person's mouth. It's white supremacy, it's Illuminati, they out to get us, but then at the same time, oh, you're the original man and you're the all-powerful and you got melanin and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, Pick a side.
Pick a side.
Because those two things don't match. How am I Almighty God, right? Everything started with me. I'm the cream of the crop, and the white man is the Illuminati, and he's the baby on the planet, and he's an animal, he's a beast, he's all these things. Yet you're still in the position where you have to say what he's doing is supremacy over you. So at some point, this thing got to click. And what we're saying is, what we're trying to express to the people tonight is this. There's a higher level of understanding the phenomenon of what's causing these things called effects. But you still kind of in the Western scientific mind of, you know, astrology ain't this. But I bet you when it's your birthday, you talking about this Aries season. I remember, let me tell you, this is how crazy people are. I had a back and forth with Talib Kweli on Twitter about 2 years ago. He was trying to argue me up and down that astrology was a pseudoscience, right? You see all those receipts my partner just showed him? I showed him the same receipts. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. Because you would say, oh, the Illuminati made the plane crash and they were sacrificing all of these people and right? How is it that 30 days prior to that event happening, we are able to forecast a plane falling out of the sky on the exact date? Now you have to ask yourself an analytical question. You know how rare it is for a plane to fall out of the sky?
That's right.
Do you know how rare that is? Let me tell you something. We've forecasted at least on 3 different occasions helicopters or planes falling out of the sky. That's equivalent to somebody winning the lottery 20 times. Okay? So it's that's not what it is. But I just had to make that point to give you the understanding of how precise this science is. And it can't be pseudo. Either we extremely lucky or we're on to something here. Mm-hmm. And your better angels, meaning, right, your intuition should tell you they can't be that lucky. Right? So Talib Kweli says to Jew that astrology is pseudo. And I start sending them all these screenshots where you can go down. Listen, you could go down Hip Hop Astrology on Twitter. You're going to have to go back a couple years. And you're going to see all of these posts prior to the event happening. So it's time-stamped. We can't make it up. It's time-stamped. I sent them all these joints, and he still was like, oh, man, you know, y'all got lucky. Anybody, you just got lucky. So I got under his skin so bad, he blocked me. He blocks people. That's okay, right? So then, if for those that don't know, about a month ago, this lady, a singer named Jaguar Wright, she had been going on a tangent about people in the industry, right? Quote unquote, exposing them. And Talib Kweli, what must have been in her craw to expose, and he came across one on a YouTube video. I was on YouTube. And he was addressing the situation. I said, let me hear what Talib talking, because he always got a riff with somebody, right? So I'm listening, right? I said, let me go check his Instagram page. Because this was when Libra season was popping. So I go check his Instagram page. Guess what he had on his Instagram page, DeBeer?
What's that?
Because he's a Libra. He had a flyer to myself. Ooh, it's Libra season. Nigga, you just told me 2 years ago astrology was pseudo.
That's right.
But you all, right. It's woohoo Libra season, huh?
That's right.
What?
That's right.
See, look, man, listen. There's a higher level of understanding what's happening down here. And what myself, Minister Jew, and my brother Noble Ampu cover is the astrological and quantum consciousness dynamic of the causes of the phenomenon of life. We see it all the time. Speak it into existence, brother. All these rappers just died, and people talking about all these lyrics where they quoted this and that. Biggie Smalls is in a hearse, life after death, ready to die. See, we don't take our own selves serious enough. Because you know why? Nobody's putting the value on thought the way they are material things once they manifest in the physical world. So you don't want to pay me a penny for my thoughts, right? You're looking at what's manifested from the idea, and you're giving the credence to that. So we praising the world of effects, right? People are praising the world of effects, not looking at the cause of the phenomenon, which is thought and emotion. I challenge you. Name one thing that was ever created on this planet, and I'm talking about the very first model, that didn't come out of somebody's mind and imagination first. You run blue in the face trying to do it. The first TV is a product of somebody's imagination, because before that, it was none. The first toilet, the first refrigerator, the first car, the first airplane. Right? And then we put all this value on this Boeing 757, is worth $40 million. Right? But the person who had the idea and the impression in their mind, once it's put out into the physical world, it's a done deal. Right? So we're looking at the causes of the phenomenon, and everybody's responding to the effects, man. And what we're saying is, put more value on what you say out of your mouth, the intention in which you're speaking it from, because that would determine how charged it is, especially when you got multiple viewers. Listen, it's called quantum wave collapse. Go Google it. These are terms that they use in physics, quantum physics. Quantum wave collapse.
That's right. Observation
and measurements. Right. Einstein went to his grave pissed about it because it was contrary to his theory of relativity, and that everything in the physical world should be able to be measured, and we should know exactly where it's going to be according to how fast it's traveling, its size, its in the distance, et cetera, et cetera. But he was wrong. At the core of what reality is based upon, this place is really a strange place. At the level in which things are birthed and created from, it only starts to make sense once it appears physically.
Right. Let me say this, man, Elliot. Let me say this, right? So you're saying, I'm showing you that these people are playing God over you. And what I'm saying is, if you indeed believe in God, then no one is playing God over you, because this God, from my understanding, is supposed to be all wise and all knowing, is the author of everything. So therefore, it's really God that's doing it. If there is a God, that's number one. Okay. So if we go back, and again, if some people just chimed in, let me go back to my screen share real fast. Okay. I am showing you, again, on March the 18th, I told the big tech companies, Google, Microsoft, Apple, there's going to be a famous person that is going to die on March the 20th through the 23rd. And then I hit them with their own JP Morgan, because JP Morgan said millionaires don't use astrology. Billionaires do. That's my quote. You have to think way outside of the box and really go into the God box thinking to really understand the realm of causation and effect. And here it is, when that day gets here, 2 days later, dead on my observation, David Rockefeller dies. So even if there were a sacrifice for David Rockefeller, I am telling you, there is a rhythm there is a science that actually exposes to the day of when you can expect these things to take place. Let's go to Paris, for example. I put this here on YouTube back in 2015 of October. You can go look at the YouTube. It says Nostradamus 2015 prophecies. Russell Simmons, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, and Rick Ross. And we went in, and you can see the arrow of November the 13th. Why? I said on November the 13th, you're going to see a domestic act of violence somewhere in the world. And that's when the Paris attacks happened on November the 13th. But I published a video on October the 24th. And I'm saying in about 6 days from now, y'all are about to see some shit. So, see, this is what I'm saying, Ryan, and hear me close. And I get passionate. It ain't got nothing to do with the emotion of I'm not logical, because, homie, I'm showing you some science here. But what I'm really saying is, can you yourself measure when these things are going to happen before they actually happen? Because if you don't have that track history of doing it, and you don't know how, and this ain't to take anything away from you, listen to your brother who is showing you time and time again how this thing works. So as Prime Minister, Minister Jew said, hey man, do you know that airplanes, when they crash, that's like a 1 in 11 million chance of that happening, right? I can go to this folder right here and show you not only, again, 49 people dead. It's on Twitter. June 19th. Hey, Snoop. Hey, Uncle Russ. Y'all supposed to be spiritual. Snoop Dogg, you Snoop Lion at this point when I was only. I'm telling y'all it's going to be a plane crash from 6:29 to 7:1. And dead on June 30th, right here to the left, a airplane crashed in Indonesia, dead on the city. Here go another one, right? When an airplane crashed into an Australian mall. I'm on the record on February the 19th. I said from February the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd is going to be an airplane crash. On February the 21st, dead on my first day of prediction, a goddamn airplane crash. Huh? I can keep going with airplanes. This is supposed to happen. If I go Google, what are the odds? And ladies and gentlemen, let's really look at this, is what I'm saying. Y'all see it? What are the odds of an airplane crashing? The odds of even being in an airplane crash are 1 in 11 million. But yet, we have them over and over and over. See, there is a different thing that's happening. And what my partner just said, we have to believe in our thoughts and understand that that's the power. So really, in truth, what really can happen is, you know what? You know what can happen? Man, our thoughts are actually lending to the future event because we believe in XYZ. You understand what I'm saying? So now that puts us in a whole nother ball game. So that's all I'm just trying to show you, man.
Hey, look, man, listen. Here's the deal, the beer. You can deny it all you want. An airplane, it's 1 in 11 million. That's the precise number. Y'all gonna have to ponder that and really, ponder that. 1 in 11 million. 3 to 4 different occasions. We have the dates weeks before the event happens that says right here and within these 2 days, there will be a helicopter or a plane crash. And in that pocket of space, a helicopter or a plane crashes. So you're going to have to wrestle with that. Right? Now, I'm going to give y'all something that'll intrigue you even more. Because we talking about thoughts, perception, et cetera, right? There's a famous author by the name of Edgar Allan Poe. Andre 3000 had a verse on the art of storytelling, I think part 4, where he has a bar where he says something like, "So I write like Edgar Allan to restore. Got a cord attached to a place that can't afford no landscaping or window draping," right? But anyways, Edgar Allan Poe wrote a book called The Nantucket. Okay? He wrote it as it was a fiction, but he wrote it as if it was a true story. Okay? And I'm going to circle back around to the rapper MO3 who passed away. This is going in my book, The Hip Hop Laws of Attraction, Chapter 4. This is going to be cited, but you can Google this now if you're on edge, if you think Minister Jew is lying. So Edgar Allan Poe wrote a book called The Nantucket. In this quote unquote fictional book, it was a boat with 4 sailors who went out to sea, and the boat got stranded at sea. There was a cabin boy on the boat who they decided to eat him. This is in the book. They decided to eat him because they ran out of food. There was they didn't know if they were going to be rescued. So they ate the cabin boy. Right? 46 years later. Well, listen to me very carefully here. 46 years later, a boat gets stranded, and this is in real life. Okay? And I had to go through the case study to get you the exact name of because it was a case. These men went to jail, but I'm getting ahead of myself. A boat gets stranded at sea with 4 crew members. There's a cabin boy on the boat. Now, this is real life. They ate the cabin boy. They killed him and ate the cabin boy on the boat. When they were finally rescued, these gentlemen went to court and they were found guilty of murder for eating the cabin boy. Now you may say, okay, Jew, what that, okay. In Edgar Allan Poe's book, The Nantucket, the cabin boy who got ate in the fiction name was Richard Parker. 46 years later, the boy who got eaten in real life, who was the cabin boy, his name was Richard Parker. Listen, people. Listen to me. Listen to me. What did Jigga say on Lupe Fiasco joint? So the pen is mightier than the sword, my lord. See, we have no idea how this matrix is working down here. What's the odds of that? The same exact name. Now, they made a movie about this. It's called The Life of Pi, for those who may have saw the movie, where they named the tiger that was lost at sea with the boy. Remember that? The Life of Pi, they named the tiger in the movie Richard Parker. That's based on a true story, because that happened in real life with a real life cabin boy named Richard Parker, who was eaten at sea by 4 crew members. But 46 years prior, there was a quote unquote fictional story written where 4 4 crew members ate a cabin boy named Richard Parker. That's not a coincidence. See, the book of Habakkuk tells you, I think it's Habakkuk chapter 2, 2 and 2, if I'm not mistaken. It tells you, for the vision has its own appointed time. If it be long, wait, for it is sure, and it will not be late. So you can escape it. And another verse in Deuteronomy, see, and anybody here for the first time hear me mention a Bible verse and you think you passed that, let me tell you something. I don't view the Bible as secular literal history or as persons that lived in the past 2,000 to 3,000 years ago. That's not my MO. My MO is to help you understand that these allegories and these parables written in a way to trigger you to understand higher levels of thought and how the mind works, states of consciousness that we all can slip in and out of if we're using the methodologies that are laid down in these texts. So the book of Deuteronomy tells you, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. And there is none that can deliver out of my hands. What are they really saying, Jew? See, I said it earlier. It's a consciousness is neutral. You can use it good, bad, good or bad. So you can kill or you can make alive with it. You can injure yourself unknowingly because you're working the law, or you can benefit yourself unconsciously because you work in the law. Or if you become conscientious of the law of consciousness, then you will work it primarily to benefit yourselves and the people around you. But it tells you at the very end of that verse that there is none that can deliver out of my hands. So once the ball is set in motion and observers are there to embrace, right? Then they just lended the emotional current to help produce the phenomenon at a later point in space and time. So when MO3 makes a video 2 years ago, while he's laying in the morgue, viewing his own dead body, and then in the verse where he's talking about where he's going to get killed in the song, he said he's going to be somewhere by Oak Cliff or riding down Oak Cliff, and that's exactly where somebody killed this young man at. You got to ask yourself another question. What the hell is going on? How are these guys so accurate in what they're saying in these records and the imagery that they're putting out? And then it manifests exactly the way that they portrayed it. And then he names the record True Story. He names the record that's supposed to be a fictional art piece, True Story. Listen, we've been sent here to divulge this information amongst the people. Because the moment that this becomes a staple in the consciousness of people, this whole reality is going to change. Until then, people are going to be injuring themselves over and over and over again because they don't know how to use their own human technology called thought and emotion, imagery, language. And that's just how it goes, man.
Hey, Jew.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a quick moment of silence real fast because I got somebody in the chat that's like, hey, nigga, if you're so smart, help me win the lottery then, right? So what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to play y'all a clip from my computer screen, but when I got to give it a moment of silence for a minute because the computer YouTube is lagging behind before I can play the clip, and it's going to be some feedback. So I'm going to be quiet for a second, y'all. Then I'm going to show y'all a video about this lottery thing in this science. Hold on. I can't get it from there. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Can't get it from there. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Can't get it from there. Hold on, y'all. All right, I'm having a tech issue, but man, boy, if I can figure that out, because I'm doing something from live on the computer and my phone. But you know, we ain't got no reason to tell no stories. But here's a man, and I hope he in the chat. His name is Dion10V. You know what I'm saying? He would tell you out his own mouth that I gave him a time to play the lottery, and he went and played the lottery, and he won a few thousand, some thou wows, dealing with this particular thing. But see, here's the thing, man. All right, here's the thing with that. Is your own level of magnetism there to be able to get that to come to you? Because it just ain't about the external science. It's a whole nother level of magnetism that deals with the individual that's involved, man. So Dion, if you in here, man, if you in here, bro, 10V, testify to that, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that thing is really real like that. All right. So anyway, man, a lot of y'all new to the channel, man. Welcome to the channel. I know y'all coming in because y'all coming in from the algorithm of the news. You know what I mean? This is going to be a different dose from probably what you ever heard. My name is Noble Ampu. My partner is Minister Jew. Together we go by the priesthood. We're dealing with astro science, and we're dealing with a quantum science. We deal with the aspect of consciousness and how our thoughts are ultimately the creative force in the entire reality, okay? And the moment that we can get on this particular path, because we always talking about energy and vibrations and things and vibes with people, and that is very true, but the moment that we can become coherent and simply just get on the same page and cast a thought, we can create reality very, very fast as a group, okay? You do it individually all the time anyway, all right? And this thing is an actual real science, all right? So anyway, man, hope y'all enjoyed the dialogue and whatnot, man. We're right here, Hip Hop Astrology TV. You can actually go through the archives and see some video footage. What up, Monica? Tawana, what's happening? You can go see some video footage of these things taking place and just showing you over and over and over again. As y'all see, I pulled up a file showing you how this thing actually works and whatnot, man. Any questions in the chat, man, feel free, ask a question, man. We'll love to dialogue with you and whatnot. So if you got a question or a comment, man, go ahead and drop it in the chat for us. You know what? Hey, I'm gonna do something real fast. I'm gonna do something real. Hold on, Drew, 1 second, man. Let me see something.
What you looking for, Noble?
Man, I'm trying to, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, man. I was seeing, all right, go ahead, man. I was seeing if I can actually switch over from my phone audio from Zoom, take it to the computer, And then I actually was going to play that clip from that because for some reason my computer audio ain't is refusing to play out and whatnot. Because I really wanted to play that clip from Dion.
Man, but look, if the people here, listen, it's some folks in here in the chat that rock with us. They could drop their testimonials here too, but that ain't what it's about, right? The naysayers gonna come. Just upload the video tomorrow. Come back and watch Prophecy TV. It'll be uploaded tomorrow. We'll upload it tomorrow. Ain't no big.
That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. But yeah, you got it in the chat. Let me know. K Bunny, what's happening? You know what I mean? What she say? I didn't win the lotto, but better. And Pooh helped me get my retirement. Don't sleep. That's what's up, K Bunny.
Hold on, somebody got a really good question. Somebody got a really good question. They said, this is Divine Divinity. They say, peace. Is there a reason it takes years for these quantum images to produce? This is a good question, right? So, the more moving parts, like for instance, the one that I just shared, the book Nantucket by Edgar Allan Poe. Do you know all those moving parts that it had to take to come into existence before that could actually happen? So somebody had to meet a man had to meet a woman in order to have a child. And then they had to name the child Richard Parker. And then somebody had to build the boat. 4 men had to become interested in sailing the seas. It takes a lot, in that particular instance, it took a lot of moving parts in order for that one to culminate into a reality. Just like Roberson, another gentleman who wrote a book about a boat crashing on the Atlantic that ran into an iceberg and killed almost the exact same amount of people that died on the Titanic. Now, in his book, which was written it was a fiction, but it was written as a true story. In his book, he named his boat the Titan, but the boat that crashed was called the Titanic, right? So all of these different moving parts, when it takes a lot of people, a lot of things to come into play. So you can work this law individually in your own personal way, in a personal sense, where it doesn't take as many moving parts, because that's a grand story that's taking place, that is pulling all of these pieces to the puzzle in an amalgamation to create a phenomenon. But in your personal space, if you want to see something change, then you can utilize the same information, right? Directly in your own space. Like you're not envisioning a boat crashing. Yours may just be, I want to get a better position on my job. Or, I want to manifest a new car, or whatever, that doesn't take a whole lot of moving parts. So we got one of the young ladies in here now, Monica Montgomery, she's in the chat. That's what she did, right? Some of these techniques, tracing God, all these different techniques that we utilize. And she got a bump up on her job by about $10,000 a year. Another one of the members did the quantum vision board download. She was persistent for 11 months. And her income increased by $140,000. So the more moving parts it's going to take to create, the longer the wave to collapse. But if it's not so many moving parts, you can have a wave collapse in 3 months, in 2 months, in a year. But that's a very good question.
For sure. Opulent one, you're absolutely correct. Attitude, the energy that you are feeling is absolutely the vital piece to that whole thing, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. All right, anybody, any questions? Oh, my Louisiana kitchen. That's my Bayou Oracle. She said I made $90,000 last year from using what y'all teach. Most money I've ever made in a year. Almost double my income from the previous year. Y'all are the truth, but you gotta do the work. That's dope. Keep on doing what you do. And that new thing you got a testimonial coming tomorrow. Already then got a bump in pay from using the subconscious money continuum. Right?
Listen, somebody in the chat say it's sorcery, the beer.
Yeah. I saw that, man.
Look, listen, and you saying that, and you're a proponent of the Bible. It's all through the Bible, right? It's life and death in the power of the tongue. What are they saying? That you can create events by what you say out of your mouth, right? Mm-hmm. The book of Joel tells you, let the weak man say, I am strong. So that's an alternative fact. Last time I checked, somebody's weak and suffering, but yet it's telling you, even though you're weak, say that you are strong. So they're telling you to appropriate an alternative fact in order to get a different outcome so that you can change your state of being or awareness so that you are strong. I guess that's sorcery too. Or maybe, right, when Jonah was on his way to be swallowed in the belly of the whale, when they were on the boat and a strong wind came along, and the seamen who were on the boat said, man, God, who is responsible? Why are you doing this to us? And they said, let us throw these shekels, and that will tell us who's responsible. And when they threw the shekels, it landed on Jonah. So I guess God allowed them to use sorcery to figure out who was responsible because they weren't wrong. See, it's levels of understanding this thing, man. It's levels. Mm-hmm. So you might be on a certain level and you're saying, oh man, that's sorcery, or oh man, that astrology, that's not of scripture. But boy, go read the book of Job, and you're gonna see planetary references all through that book.
All day.
Right? And what they were trying to steer you away from was making it the last stop on your journey of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that it wasn't a fact or that it wasn't a useful tool, but they were trying to steer you clear of stopping right there because there's another plateau that you need to reach. And they knew if you stop right there, you never reach that plateau. It's called what we look at and we see in the everyday world called the placebo effect, where mind is impacting matter. You gonna run from that too? You got people walking around with tumors. Henry Beecher, I think it was World War II. Was it World War II, maybe World War I. Henry Beecher was on the battlefield and the soldiers was getting shot. And they were coming to the medical tents and the nurses there had ran out of morphine. And so the nurses just thought intuitively and they loaded up the syringes with saline. And they start shooting these soldiers with saline, and they noticed that the soldiers were responding to the saline as if they had just taken morphine. So Henry Beecher looked at this and he said, what the hell is going on here? So when he got back to the States, he decided to dedicate himself to studying the phenomenon, which now we know as the placebo effect, where predicated upon a person's belief and idea of what they may be taking is causing a phenomenon to happen in their body where they're reversing ailments and sicknesses. You're going to deny that too? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. You know, I had a friend, an elder who was, you know, in the military, you know, Vietnam, and, you know, people getting their limbs blasted off, and his job was to hypnotize them just so, you know, they could stay, you know, alive so they can get fixed. And it worked because they was, you know, dealing with the science of the mind and whatnot. What's that question I just saw right here? I just totally lost it. I'm sorry. Somebody had a question about where'd it go? I'll find it, but I see K Money. How long did it take y'all to get comfortable teaching these aspects of astrology and the quantum? How long did it take to get comfortable teaching the aspects? For me, honestly, I shared the story before. I call it a DNA implosion when I was studying the information. As soon as I picked it up, it was the weirdest thing in the world. It was like I knew it. I knew it. It's like I did it before. And I've never been afraid to speak. And at that time, I was going to some lectures, and I asked the lecturer to allow me, could I introduce, and can I open up, be the, opener? And he allowed me to open, and I would just share with people. Same thing with Hebrew, taught myself how to read it, write it, and I started teaching other people how to read it. I teach you how to read Hebrew and write sentences in Hebrew in 4 weeks. I can teach you that, okay? And it's just, I'm just enthusiastic about information. If it excites me, it's easy to obtain because it's exciting, right? Now, the second part of your question, honestly, if you've been with me, and I've scaled back over the years, and I actually came out of the public eye and haven't been teaching this information to the public, and I still don't teach the information. I like showing you some things, and I guess that's a form of teaching, but as far as saying, hey, guys, I have a class, come in my class, come do X, Y, Z. It's been a few years, primarily for two reasons. One, I decided I had to go take a turn and go build financial wealth and start dealing in the realm of real estate. And then the second thing is understanding that the sciences that we teach, you really have to be 100% dedicated. I mean, super duper dedicated. And you just can't be on the fence and still listening to a whole lot of other stuff. And, it's some things, it's just not going to work for you and whatnot. So you have to be dedicated to it. So when people come seek us privately, then at that particular point, like you yourself have done, then we make a decision to say, okay, come on in and we can rock with you privately, in a sense. So I hope that answers. It didn't take long as far as the teaching aspect. It didn't take long at all. Actually, once I learned it, I immediately started sharing with people and whatnot. But this is not something, in my opinion, I believe in having conversations like this and showing you guys cause and effect and how it works. But I'm not necessarily a fan of people going, hey, I got this for sale, come in, without going through it's like an interview process in a sense. You got to watch the temperament of the person that's coming in, because to a degree, you're responsible for how they perceive the information. You got to be absolutely clear that this person is cognizant and just really ready and whatnot. So for me, again, I scaled back over the years because that thing wasn't there. It's just like right now, you can't go to my website and book a session with me. You have to call in, and then if I got to feel the vibe of what's going on and whatnot, then I make a decision, or I just may give you the advice. And no, I ain't gonna read you, but I give you the advice, and or okay, yeah, let's do it and whatnot. All right. So hope you got that, man.
Noble.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Listen, I appreciate all of our supporters in the chat coming to drop their stories and their testimonials. But look, Jew is prepared. All these people here, first time here, I'm glad we got some analytical people here who are skeptical, who may be a little bit pessimistic. I'm glad they're here because I'm going to give them things that they're going to have to wrestle with in their sleep if they're totally being honest about their logical, reasoning, analytical abilities. So I want to read something to y'all, right? If you think that we're making this up, you could go fact check me on this. In fact, you can fact check me on everything that I've said tonight. And if you do that, you're going to be left having to ask some more questions. And that's what it's all about. So let's read this. Perhaps even more mysterious is the fact that new research is suggesting that visualization can actually strengthen muscles. Researchers from the Cleveland Clinic Foundation in Ohio investigated the strength benefits of imagining exercising a muscle. They reported that just thinking about exercise helped maintain muscle strength in a group of subjects. They split 30 healthy young adults into 3 groups. For 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week, for 12 weeks. Group 1 imagined exercising their little finger muscle. Group 2 imagined exercising their bicep muscle, and Group 3 acted as a control group and did no imaginary exercises. Those in the first two groups were asked to think as strongly as they could about moving the muscle being tested to make the imaginary movement as real as possible. The researchers measured muscle strength before, during, and after the training sessions. In the results of the study, Group 1, who did the finger exercises, increased their strength by 53%. Group 2, the bicep exercisers, increased their strength by 13.4%. These are facts. They never physically lifted nothing. They never lifted no physical weights. They never had no weight resistance on any of their fingers, yet they did these exercises for 15 minutes a day for 12 straight weeks and increased their muscle mass by 53% respectively and 13.4% respectively. What is that? What is that? Now I can go on and on and on and on. I got example after example after example after example. But you do the due diligence. Those who are in the chat that are skeptical, go Google it and read it yourself. And then you're going to have to ask yourself some new and improved questions about the power of the mind. And I got a game of neuroscience that deals with the phenomenon of manifestation according to the language that we speak to ourselves, and how when you visualize things in first person, how it activates the planning centers in the brain, specifically the dorsal prefrontal lateral cortex, which is the planning portion of the brain, and it gets you to act. So when you visualize, it causes you to leap into action, to perform a task. So go do the research on that and fact check me and come back and tell me if I'm lying or telling the truth.
So he gave me a meditation/visualization and told me I need to practice it like 30.
Go ahead, Drew. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I don't know if it's loud enough, but I'm almost about to go ahead and crack it. But go ahead to the chat, man. I'm trying to figure something out, man.
Okay. So somebody says you do your own study, right? I just had a weight loss and visualization class a few months ago. Go to my page, The Imagination Guru on Instagram, and you'll see testimonials from people who participated in my class on weight loss, who have lost weight simply from doing visual work. So we've already put it into practice. It's not new. It's what we do. If you're that interested, you can go right over there and see the many stories from many people. And it's videos too. People got videos. They send us videos. They send us screenshots, and we post them. Some of them are right here in the chat tonight. So we've already done it. And here's the thing. Your ego's getting in the way because you're saying that's somebody else's research. That's null and void. And that's not to say that we're not, because I just told you that we do, and we've got buku results from it. But the thing is this here. You could be the one of the 30 that's doing the same phenomenon, irregardless of who taught it. These are still independent people who are practicing a phenomenon and getting a result. So instead of looking at the result and the solution from the implementation of the practice, you would rather say, oh, but that's somebody else's study. But these are PhDs and white lab coats who doing it. So really, what's your purpose? What's your reasoning behind such a statement? If we can look at the data objectively and see that this is a real phenomenon that's happening in the world. Check.
That's right. Non-stop. So
That's right.
I went in, you know what I'm saying? I already played lottery.
I went ahead and got it. You know I can't rest, man. No, I can't rest, you know? So let me, can you hear me, Jew?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, man. So listen, man. I'm gonna go to it so you can see. But I'm gonna do a quick moment of silence because it'd be feedback real fast. And then we take a few more, man, and we're gonna bounce up out of here for a minute. I think you froze on me on the YouTube, Jew. Let me see what's happening.
They sent us screenshots.
Uh-oh. We still on? You can see my screen, Jew?
Oh, yeah. I can.
Okay, you see me?
Yeah.
All right. So this is my man Dion, y'all.
What up, my name is Dion, and I had a consultation with Noah School back in July. And, he had did my natal chart and told me that I was headed for a lucky period. And he said that I could potentially hit the lottery. You know what I'm saying? So he gave me a meditation / visualization and told me I needed to practice it like 30 days religiously, nonstop. So I went in, you know what I'm saying? I already played the lottery, you know. In fact, the day he had returned my call, he called me as I was leaving out the liquor store from playing the lottery. So once he told me that I needed to, you know, that I was headed for a lucky period, you know what I'm saying? I just upped the ante and started putting more on, you know, the number that I play. You know what I'm saying? And I've been waiting on this number for a minute, but I ended up hitting it. You know what I'm saying? For several thousand. You know what I'm saying? And it blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because I know for a fact that the meditation / visualization, you know what I'm saying, played a huge role in it. You know? But yeah, he the truth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. Sure.
Hey, I'm gonna say, hey, what Obama say when he hit that J on him, Jew?
This is what I do.
This is what I do, man. All right. It was, who was that in the chat, man? That was is the chat still live for you that you see?
Say it again.
Is the chat still live?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, all right, cool. It was man, I lost him again, man. This is crazy. So Supremacy McCoy had actually asked a question. But you know, you asked us, are we familiar with Bobby Hemmett? Minister Jew, could you please show them the picture, please? They're asking about, are we familiar with Bobby Hemmett?
Man, I would have to go in my basement to show them.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. All right. To answer your question, Supreme McCoy, absolutely. Bobby Hemmett is on our Mount Rushmore, along with Dr. Jewel Pookrum and the other two you're looking at tonight. Bobby Hemmett is our GOAT. That's our legend. In fact, you know, when Bobby underwent some things, we actually raised money, and you just got to say that, you know what I'm saying? And we sent some money down there. Like, we ain't just saying that to say it, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's our elder, you know what I'm saying? For sure.
And here's the other thing too. Somebody said they don't need sorcery, but the translation and the organic meaning of sorcery is actually pharmaceuticals. So no, we don't. We don't need drugs. All we need is the mind and the heart. So we don't practice sorcery. We practice consciousness.
Consciousness, man. You gotta deal with the power of your mind, man. Either your mind can produce things or it can't. You know? All right, man. So we got anybody else in here, bro?
No, man. Hey, man, we had a great turnout tonight. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe, like, share. Visit my channel, The Imagination Guru, right here on YouTube. Got a bunch of dope videos over there. Got some testimonial videos over there, too, from real people who working regular jobs. You know, that's what we here for the people in the trenches who trying to get ahead of life, understanding that they can by using the power of their mind, man. So subscribe to both channels, Hip Hop Astrology TV, subscribe, right? If you already part of the community, thank you guys for coming back to these channels, supporting us, listening to what we got to say. If you're new, think about subscribing today, like, share, and follow us on Instagram as well. The Urban Guru and the Imagination Guru on Instagram. You get a lot of data over there too from over the years, some of the stuff that we've spread and taught.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's what it is, man. You can get at us and whatnot, man. We appreciate you for tuning in. You know what I mean? If it's new to you, it's new to you. You know what I'm saying? Come back, check it out. And, you know, I know how it can be. It's a shocker. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is this, is it true? Can it be proven? And if it has been proven and you can show this through testimonial and experience and show it over and over and over again, it just may be something to it, man. So look us up, theimaginationguru.com. It's Minister Jew. I'm over at myastrologycoach.com along with the Prosperity Investment Group.com. All right. So with that, man, we appreciate you. We see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.